Everyone, thank you for taking the time to come to cover once again. Firstly, I would like to welcome Coach Middendorp and also Coach Sean Connor. Welcome to Cape Town, both of you. One from Ireland, one from Germany, and some of us from Greece and South Africa combined, so United Nations. I think I'd like to start off by addressing the current situation at the club. Obviously, we've had a poor start to the season. That's not news for anyone. Reasons being various, which I would not like to go into at the moment, because they had to do with playoffs, etc., etc. But the one issue that I think we have to address is the fact that people tend to believe that we don't have good enough players and maybe inexperienced players. Maybe so. I don't think there's a club in the world that never needs more players. Even the best clubs in the world always will jack up their squads. So we obviously would look to do that in the near future. But for now, we have what we have, and we believe that with the two gentlemen on my side here, they will be able to add enough value to turn things around. So we're definitely not a club that will overspend on budget. As you know, currently in the PSL, I think there are 2 or 3 clubs that have got FIFA bans. The main reason for that is they tend to bring in players that they can't afford, they don't want to pay them. I don't know why it is like that, and why it's been allowed to be like that, but we're definitely not in that category. So hopefully that will be dealt with people that need to deal with it and stop this from happening, because we can also bring 10 extra players knowing we're not going to pay them and unfairly challenge in the league, because for me it's not fair play the way things stand right now. Further on, the vision of the club, obviously you all know we were in the national first division for 5 years. It was not a pleasant experience. Thank you to Coach Sean Bartlett again for managing to promote us. Unfortunately, things didn't go his way while he was here, but that is football, that's how it goes sometimes. But that doesn't move us away from our vision and our strategy, which is partly to get this club back to where it belongs and even beyond it. So it may sound like a big dream, but we have to dream and we have to look forward. This club definitely has to be in the top 4 to 6 position, generally speaking. Not always easy, because we, as you know, develop a lot of young players, and sometimes that doesn't make the process as easy as other clubs that generally just spend money and buy the best players. So we know that there is a challenge, but we at the same time believe in our youth, and we believe that they can add value. So that will continue. One of the reasons we brought Sean was to elevate that side of the club, and obviously the first team as well. I think we chose someone from Europe that understands what is required for youth players to reach that level. We should be having a lot more players moving into Europe than we currently have, not only from this club, but from other clubs. So there's a lot of work to be done there, a lot of things need to change, and I think Sean, in combination with Coach Ernst, will manage to make those necessary changes. I think the lesson that we've all learned, and what the Springboks have achieved, definitely one thing that they do correctly is the grassroots right up to getting international level. So I think football's got a lot to learn from the Springboks, and so do many other clubs in the PSL who currently don't take development as seriously as we do. So without further ado, I would like to hand over to Coach Sean to share some of his experience. He's been in the country for about 2 months now, I think. So I think he's got a lot of knowledge to share right now, and also introduce Coach Ernst. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the first thing I would like to do is welcome Ernst to the club. After a diligent and extensive search, I believe we've identified the right character of coach, the right experience, with all the qualities that are required in our situation and going forward. For me, when I came to the club, the role was always about the sporting director role, taking a long-term view in terms of the overall development. I think when I first met with Alexei, we talked about the disconnect currently between the academy and the first team, and maybe also the club losing some of its DNA and its clear identity. So obviously, I stepped in to oversee the role as an interim head coach, and the job there was to steady the ship, to keep the players focused, to try and put a wee bit more detail and structure into the training, which hopefully we've done. And I believe that Ernst will now be taking over a hungry and an ambitious group of players who are willing to learn, and there's no better man to learn. I think in terms of our relationship, we're going to work together. My job now is to support him uh, as the sporting director, to build the link between the academy and to make the transition for Ernst as easy as possible. The other thing, I think one of the most important things in life is if you're in a position, you try and surround yourself with the best people possible. So I think I've now surrounded myself with a top coach, and I'm looking forward to learning from Ernst and seeing if it can make me a better coach, a better leader, and a better person.
Coach, I think we hand over to you.
Yeah. So it's not only good morning anymore, but good I had to fly over today, and I'm coming just from the airport. Good. Nevertheless, we had a number of discussions, a number of talks in the past number of days or weeks, probably. And I have a good feeling in terms of the cooperation, in terms of the collaboration with team which is around here, guiding, managing Captain Spurs. Of course, being busy with the team, with the players individually. The majority is well known. I worked with a number of players on the other side, of course. So playing in the PSL means if you are in this business and you are watching games, what I do or what I did in the past decades, knowing the environment here in South Africa. So then, of course, you have a certain assessment, and based on this, you make a decision. I think what we have here at the moment, to put it together in a way, if you go into business, either you want a short-term return or a long-term success. I think what we have to transfer it into the soccer or into the industry or into the situation where we with Captain Spurs in the moment. It's of course a short-term return to a settled PSL position, and of course in the same way to look for a long-term success. That means I will not use the words DNA or whatever. That's not my priority in the moment, but a certain identity should be produced. And I think they started with during the NFD time probably already to put something in place. In the moment, we have to follow both the short-term return and the long-term success. That's our job. I will be on a 100% level focus to the team, to the players on the PSL squad, and I was very happy to see it in the past number of weeks. It's a very successful disc team, position 4, 5, playing good soccer, successful soccer, and it can't be that there are not players around who has probably a certain quality. I think it is already experienced here inside the club lately with a striker who was brought in. Of course, as a coach in this moment, if you have to do this, if you want to do this, you need to be a little bit stubborn, you need to be a little bit brave, you need to be prepared, to be riskful, and of course, then you do it. And I think, you have seen the situation, and why not? Let's have a look what will be the best combination. I don't want to put too much in details what I'm thinking about the squad. I think it's for me very important, and I said it. Let's work. Let's give them a possibility on the field in the training sessions, in the macro game, as far as it's a test game here and there in the next days, and of course, very, very crucial games till the end of December to be connected to the main field of the PSL. That's our first target, and that is what, in particular, we have to work on it. In the moment, I would say, let's leave it from my side as it is. I'm sure you have no questions. Okay, thank you.
We will now take questions to the members of the media. Any of these three gentlemen in front will be able to answer your question. So, who is first?
So just speak up a little bit.
The applications you guys got in applying for the position, everyone got, was easy to choose his name, and if you can take us through who other people applied for the subject.
Yeah, I don't think we want to go into the list of how many people applied because
Yes. Was it easy to go and
yes, I think at the end of the day, but I'd rather pass that question on to the TD.
I think
Obviously we consult with each other, but I think it falls in his ambit.
I think as I say, we conducted an in-depth, inclusive process, and very, very quickly, Ernst's character, abilities came to the fore. It was also important that we had a coach who was comfortable working with a sport director. We had a good discussion about that, but also someone who, and as Ernst addressed, understands the immediacy of the problem, understands the need to be pragmatic, as he says, to be in contact with the rest of the PSL, but at the same time has the ability to look at a longer term vision. So was it an easy decision? I think it was a straightforward decision, but there were a number of good candidates. So I think that a couple of weeks ago when I was asked about this, I said in the press conference, it wasn't about getting the quick appointment, but getting the right appointment. So I think that's what we've done.
Welcome to Cape Town, Coach.
Yeah.
I mean, your ability is impeccable. I mean, the track record in terms of finding plans in these situations and then saving the status as well. But when you look at the complexity of the situation that this club finds itself in, would you say has there been far worse situations? What attracts you to this environment?
Yeah, this is, I don't know if it is the worst or is it from the points. That's one stuff you have to see, but I'm looking more into the performances. You haven't seen results like 5-1 or whatever. You have seen matches ended up in probably not handling the critical phases in the end of the game. It doesn't matter if you're not taking a penalty or if you concede an equalizer in the final second, or if you hit in the last number of minutes crossbar, and instead of making a draw, you lose an away game. You have to look a little bit more into details, into the process, into the performance. It's not about the final results only in the moment. Of course, there could have been a number of points more. That is definitely something. But yeah, I'm definitely have been in a number of crisis management moments. I think it's a little bit if you're as a company under administration, and that's what we are with Cape Town Spurs. We are all aware about it, but we have to look to come into the right position again. And I think it's definitely a situation where we believe altogether. It's not only my belief, otherwise I would not be here. I think it's a belief we developed over the number of days with our discussions, with our presenting of our thinking to each other. And I think that's the fundamental situation we are in here.
Welcome, coach. In your presentation of the team, are there any position that you think would need to boost come in the game?
No, it's a very clear message which was brought into this discussion we had. We have a current squad. The squad has abilities, has skills individually and probably collectively also. In the moment, I'm not sitting here and say, okay, we need on the left side, on the center back, on whatever in terms of. That's not the base of our agreement. The base of our agreement is we have a number of players in the squad here. We have a good functional disco team. We're probably inside the club. That's always where you look first. And that's part of our agreement. And I'm not putting myself into a position and what a lot of, it's common, it's fashion immediately to cry and to say this one and we have to do here and so on. Let's build the confidence with the squad we have. Let's build the confidence individually and collectively with the players are available here for Cape Town Spurs.
Coach, first of all, welcome to Cape Town.
Yeah.
First time as a coach, not just a visitor. But just about the team working with the players, how much is it going to help that there are a handful of players who obviously have worked with you before? Will you be relying on them to help integrate yourself with the team? And also, you've obviously known this club, seeing them from the outside. Is it easy to buy into where they want to be? Because it is a club that with facilities and things like that some of the places you worked at before might not have had.
Yeah. First part of your statement, not question, but I don't know anything about Cape Town. I'm here since 2005 inside the country. I can tell you where I can find Adlon Stadium. I can tell you where I find Cape Town City, Cape Town Spurs main stadium used for both teams. That is what I know. I have no idea about North, West, what is there. I got a question from this morning at 7 o'clock when somebody checked my eyes after some surgery and said, where do you go and where do you live in Cape Town? I said, I don't know, I have no idea. It's Cape Town Spurs home ground and that's it. The number of players, of course, if you have guys like Clayton Daniels, Nazir Ali, Keegan Buchanan, Nicola Kubini, you have worked with probably even more. It's very, very crucial. The process of getting it done in a way as you would like to see in training process and so on is a little bit easier because you come around as a coach and nobody knows you. It's only what you guys are writing about the coach being whatever. So then everybody is a little bit out of control in normal behave. I think it will be easier, and it's definitely already discussed in the days. Everybody has a story, everybody has a certain reputation, and it makes it easier for all of us to find the right way with the information you get. And the leadership, and this is something what I researched obviously in particular in the last 2-3 years. You can't lead a team like we have done it 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter. My colleague here on the left, right, whatever. It's different. the Generation Z or this people are, they want to do, find out their own way, they want to lead themselves, and it's a very good picture where you said in former days you have to go up front and they follow you, and in these days the talk is about let the team go in front and you go behind and observe them, what they're doing, and guide them and mentor them and help them in this direction. And if you have certain players from this type of mentioned just now, Clayton, Nazir, Nico, Gigan, then you can be sure they give the direction. They know what is expected working in this professional environment, and definitely we should count on it.
Maybe to the technical director, just want to find out just in terms of the makeup of your technical team, is coach expected to bring anyone additional or is going to work with the current technical team?
No, I think part of the discussions was that Ernst was very happy to work with the technical team. I think we brought a top coach in Vasily. I think our fitness people, our medical people. What we're hoping is that Ernst's experience and knowledge will be passed amongst the team, and we're all going to work together. And as I say, hopefully I'll help to supplement that. And I think what I've tried to do so far is create an open and a learning environment. And as I say, when you bring someone as well versed as Ernst is into that environment, you're only going to benefit everyone. I'm also hoping that he's going to enjoy working with some of the people here, and we're all going to work together. The main aim here is to keep this football club in the PSL, and then the long-term, medium-term goal is to develop our own way of thinking, our own way of playing, and as Ernst says, playing football that's going to bring success over the longer term.
Just I forgot it was a bit of a statement from your side, and of course it's influencing the discussion of if you're in the soccer industry working, it doesn't matter as a manager, as a technical director, as a head coach, you look into the environment, what is there, how is the infrastructure, what is given, and you're right. A number of clubs provide the office which is found in a boot of a car. Till today.
I can guarantee you, Ernst, you've got a very nice office.
And coach, just in terms of the structure, the professionalism of the clubs in the PSL, I think you spoke recently about your experience at your former club. Does any of that, of those situations, circumstances, happen also in the PSL within our structures?
Yeah, it's not my idea or my right to talk about what other clubs are providing or not. They know what's good, they know what they are providing to have success and so on. It's definitely, I always try to put my expertise, to put my knowledge, to put my experience, and I can only repeat it, the only source of knowledge is experience. It's not from me, it's from Albert Einstein. It's not my word. But there's a lot of what does it mean? Experience means you have been in situations, you have been in certain environment to provide the knowledge. And I think actually it doesn't matter at a certain time where you're sitting, what is given. There's always something what you can change. There's always something what you can change to be even going to a better infrastructure, whatever it is. I think actually that's a job we all have to follow.
Just to the chairman, the reiteration of wanting to keep the club in the PSL is very loud, it's very grave. But when you look at the timing in terms of the reaction from you guys, do you think don't you think it comes in too late, or are you still confident, optimistic?
Yeah, again, I think that's a question for the TD more than me. I would like to keep away from football matters as much as possible. I think we've got good enough people to give us the answer to that question. Of course, as a leader of the club, I believe that it's not too late. There's 57 points to play for, so it's never too late.
Yeah, as I said before, I'd like to reiterate, this was about getting the right appointment, not the quick appointment. And I think there's plenty of points to play for. We've stabilized an environment that was fraught. In times of crisis, it's easy to panic. I think Ernst probably, hopefully, will agree with me that when you're in football management, you're almost in two phases. You're either in a crisis, under siege, or you're coming out of one and maybe going into one. It's a very, very rare occasion that you get a balanced state. So I think with experience, it enables you to stand back, to reflect, and to make the right decisions. As I say, not the speedy decisions. Obviously, also in football, there's times when you do have to react quickly. But I think in this case, we wanted to take our time, as I say, to get the right man, to take this project forward, because it's not just a short-term project, there's a long-term project here as well.
Last question from the floor.
Good afternoon, Coach, and welcome to Cape Town Spurs. Welcome to Cape Town. From a supporter's point of view, Coach, we just want to say to you that you can count on us. You will definitely be able to count on us, all on us, at any stage of time. We will rally behind you. We will be there with you every step of the way. We've been doing that with all our coaches that has been here. There's two things that I want to ask, Coach, is what do you expect from your 12 men in the stands? And I think this question is most probably to Mr. Sean. What is the mandate for coach? I don't know if the question was asked, but the mandate for the coach. I know it's been engaged, but is there a specific mandate that was set out for the coach?
Well, I think we're going to go into more detail. As I said, I think what we've asked of Ernst is to use his experience. We understand that initially it has to be a pragmatic approach. He's headed himself to close the gap to the rest of the PSL, and in the medium to longer term to try and work with myself and develop a successful and an attractive way of playing football and winning football matches.